so before the closing address by Professor Maressa, we're going to hear some brief comments about the workshop by a few of the speakers we heard earlier today and yesterday. We're going to begin with Professor Mark Blumberg.
I was thinking towards the end of this last presentation, which I enjoyed a great deal, and when Professor Maressa asked, what is creativity? I guess what I was thinking, because I was a jazz drummer. I haven't played a lot in a long time. But one thing that strikes me about what creativity is, it's hard work. You know, a lot of people listen to things like, you know, Ornette Coleman and free jazz, and they think it just sounds like noise. The way you tell the difference between somebody like that and just a pretender, right, is that they can also play straight blues, they can play jazz, they understand the history. Same thing is true for people like, people look at Jackson Pollock, and they think, well, that's just splatterings on the wall. But then you go and you see that he could do actual drawings. He could draw like a Renoir or something like that. So it's the foundation on the history, understanding the history of the field, being able to build on it, and then taking it to another level. And if you don't have that foundation, if you don't have that knowledge, if you don't have all that sweat, hard work, and the ability to play the straight forms, whether it's straight drawing or straight music, then I don't think you have the ability to take it to the next step and be creative. So I guess I'll just say that, as I was saying, it's hard work to be creative, and it's more than just randomness. It's more than just being silly, you know, or letting your mind go freely. You have to have that foundation. I think that's something to keep in mind.
Thank you, Professor Blumberg. Now we're going to hear about comments from Adrian Cheok. Adrian, please.
I didn't actually see that part of the program, so it's going to be off the cuff, off the cuff talk and random thoughts maybe. But yeah, I think somehow creativity requires both stability and chaos, and I think either one cannot produce creativity. So I think that's not the answer, but I feel that this maybe part of the surroundings required for humans to be creative requires that. So maybe there's been some. In fact, we had a lunchtime talk discussing about education, and there's probably some educationalists who say we should sweep away the present rigorous kind of traditional education system where you write, learn, and sit exams, and because they say that does not provide a kind of environment for children and then subsequent adults to be creative. So, but I think there's probably some need for that, and I think there's been I've been doing some reading and by a book which was co-authored again by I mentioned before Ken Monkey, and I've been reading his book. It was about creativity, and that's one of the points, saying that children, if they want to explore the world, but without a kind of safe boundary, which is normally provided by the parents, they cannot explore. There's something in human nature, we need kind of a safe tether before we can explore. So I think that is somewhere in that region you have to create both stability as well as a kind of chaos. Either one, I think, is not good for creativity. So we should look at what kind of society, what kind of environment is best for that. I spent 10 years in Singapore, and probably that's very too much on the stable society. So Singapore government is now saying we need to change the society. There's no entrepreneurs. Well, not zero, but there's very few entrepreneurs. There's very few people starting creative industries, etc. So they want to increase creativity, which means they realise that the model of having a very stable country that doesn't work. So I think, on the other hand, too much chaos also doesn't work. Probably we can think of some other examples. Too much chaos. So that's probably my comment, that we should balance stability and chaos.
Well, thank you very much. Next, we're going to hear comments from Professor Ludwik. Leibler.
Thanks a lot. I don't know what I should say comments about the meeting of creativity, but the meeting was created in a sense that really thank the organizer, because it seemed impossible to, there are so little occasions you can bring people from different areas of activity together and have them tell whatever stories they have to tell, and then you enjoy it. It can be vulgarization. You can find it, but outside a single room. And if you go to to academy or whatever, they will either be Academy of Sciences, Academy of Medicine, music maybe, and they will be separated again. And if you go to the university, if it's a small university, it will be a selection of domains, and people not necessarily will take, and then it depends on country. And I think that the creativity in some countries is very much related to the openness and the boundaries which do not exist. So we have examples of young people here who are running from biology to something, physics to music, and so on and so on. Now, it's not always, if it was so simple, we would probably all do it, and all government will find the ways of promoting it. But anyway, so I found it very moving and very enjoyable, and I thank you all for all this.
Thank you very much. Last, we're going to hear from Professor Shigeru Miyagawa.
Yeah, I'll keep it very brief. 3 quick points. First, echoing Ludwik, I think I learned more from this conference than from any professional meeting of my own field that I have attended. It's quite a remarkable conference. I'm just so happy that I had a chance to participate. Okay. The second point, this is the first scientific meeting I have ever been to where a presenter sang. I think we're onto something here. This is something that we should do. We take ourselves way too seriously. This is a very good idea. And finally, I believe I'm the last presenter. I think on behalf of all the participants, again, echoing Ludwik and others, we'd like to thank the organizers, Professor Grasse and Professor Nishimura, and the 2 institutes, and all the people who worked so hard to put together such a wonderful conference. Thank you so much.